So these are actually the things that are told to you once you enroll into the business, because they don't give you the complete picture unless you're completely into it. Just like a job interview, how just like in a job interview, how employers or employees also, they only tell you the glamorous parts of the company and the reality hits you once you're in. So this industry is more or less the same. The first thing is loss of my network, my own network. There is a method called memory jogger used during the training period. Here, what we're supposed to do is we are supposed to run through our memory and list all the members that we have known or met since birth. So it could be your schoolmates, it could be your teachers, your neighbors, colleagues, relatives, family, friends, technically everyone that you remember. And this should be jotted down in a book, and it's called as a name list. So this is just like a CRM tool that the salespeople use, which has to keep updating over time. And we start inviting these people one by one to the business. So generally, when people join this business, they would have a maximum of 300 to 400 names in their name list. But I had 1,700 back then. So this was like a treasure. My uplines kept telling me that even if in case you convert 10% of this, and then as in 10% of the people in your name list sign up, I would end up making a fortune. But actually, there were two things that I hated the most, and till date, I'm paying the price for it. The first one thing is I enjoyed getting in touch with old friends while running through the name list, but I was very hesitant to get them on board, because when there'll be a pitch given to us, like a call pitch, and then until we are very thorough with the way we're making calls, the uplines will keep listening to the call on the other end, because I have established a particular rapport or a relationship with my network or my friend, and I know how to carry it. I don't want it to be rectified and converted that to a sales pitch. So as I started calling my friends one by one, but word spread, and most of the people in my network, they got to know that I'm a part of Qnet. They literally stopped responding to me, and they stopped attending my calls, even in genuine cases. I even remember that once, when a get together was planned, a close friend of mine shared that they had discussed that if in case Prajwal is coming, I'm not coming, because he comes with the intention of business. So that was pretty hard for me to digest. So, and the second thing, we were encouraged to attend as many social get-togethers as possible, and this was termed as catch-up. I was obviously, I enjoyed meeting old friends, and in fact, I had to make deliberate attempts to meet my old pals. But during this time, while enjoying our own conversations and laughing over our memories, I hated the fact that I somehow have to induce the business part into this person, and induce curiosity and convert it to a sign up. So whether we are sitting in the restaurant, I used to see my friend at the table opposite to me, and then I used to see that waiter, okay, is he looking for an opportunity? What about the girl sitting over there? Can I go talk to her? So this business thing was constantly, subconsciously activated, and I hated the fact that I couldn't enjoy the present. The thing is, we had to frequently sign up people, or else my downlines won't get inspired. And if they don't get inspired, they get demotivated, and then they drift away from the business. And if they do so, our business is affected. And it was a mechanical process, because everyone's business was dependent on the other. So with all of these things, I in fact lost a lot of my network. Second is the products. So the products, I'm not technically qualified to talk about their performance, but I was not happy with it. To be very honest, I really was not. Yes, there might be very good products, because the whole point of investment over here is that you have to buy a product, and what is told to you during signing up is that you get the distribution rights to a multi-million-dollar company. So over the journey, I've bought 4 products, 2 Kairos watches. So apparently it is a Swiss handmade, and it has international warranty, and One was watch cost me 50,000 and the other one cost me around 26,000. Uh, but what I would like to point out here is 1 year later, the strap of the watch came out, and I had to reach the customer service multiple times. And every time I reached them, it was a period of over 6 months that they kept telling me the parts have not arrived, I need to wait, and all those. So what I did is I just took them to a local, very well established watch showrooms over here. But they said this is a completely different make, so we don't sell the spares. I had no option, but I just had to go to a local shop and get the spares replaced, and the job was done in 500 rupees. Now, see the irony: a 50,000 rupees watch with a 500 rupees spare part, and that too, I had to wear the watch because I paid so much for it. Had it been some other watch, I would have just thrown it away, to be honest. The second kind of product what I bought was a holiday package. See, this holiday package is not something like uh, make my trip or any Agoda or something like that. Uh, Prices are economical, I wouldn't deny, but their tie-ups are very minimal. So actually, to redeem my package, I had to plan a trip to Uttarakhand. So imagine Bangalore to Uttarakhand. I had to take my family to a resort. Yeah, but the resort was beautiful. I wouldn't want to complain about that. Third kind was a pendant that I gifted it to my sister, but it was not something that an Indian would like because it was more like a Westerner's ornament. See, my other partners, in the Qnet business, they experience products like BioLite, energy pendant. Apparently, your energy levels shoot up, and there are some few beauty products also. And during workshops, all of us have to actually share the experience of that product. Uh, I wouldn't deny I was initially excited seeing the watch, but myself or my other partners who experience the products, we always gave good reviews. I think it was that the fact that we had to convince ourselves to be a part of the herd mentality. See, yes, there are a few products like the air purifier and water purifier. Their services are good, but the fact is that these products are not directly from Qnet, but they are partnered with some other company. But all said and done, I definitely wouldn't, on a personal note, I wouldn't want to spend 50,000 on a watch or 35,000 on an air purifier. The third thing is the over optimism amidst huge negativity. See, the moment you type in Qnet or any other network marketing company in Google, it loads you with a lot of negative reviews, scams, and a lot more that it actually scares the person who is about to sign up. So let me be honest. I'm not promoting the company in any way, but for me, it didn't seem like a scam. I just don't like the model, the way they work. So one part of the training is called as objection handling. So where you are trained or they teach you how to handle all of these objections or obligations. They give you all the reference materials where you have to learn how to handle these allegations and try to convince your prospective sign up that it is a genuine company. So they go on like we have sponsored the Manchester Football Club and the Malaysian Hockey Federation. Our founder Dato Vijay Ishwaran, he has addressed at the World Economic Forum, and he keeps meeting influential leaders across the world. Like even Infosys and Tech Mahindra has cases against it, but not one case has been won against Qnet, and they just go on. So this is a part of the training. So when I talk about optimism, so the network marketers, they're huge followers of law of attraction. So the negativity is because the negativity is so high outside that you're constantly trained to think positively and have that ray of hope, because it's very easy for anyone to just slide away. So they insist that if anyone asks about how the business is going on, I have to reply saying, yeah, it's going on great. So only then will that other person be very curious about my earnings, and it might be a sign up one or the other day. Generally, when you go to a traditional businessman, say you go to a juice shop and you buy some watermelon juice, and you casually strike a conversation with him. You ask him, even though if in case that he's minting money, and you ask him how the business is going, he says, it's not great, sir. The season has been very dull. But in network marketing, the case is the otherwise. So let me tell you, friends, I always replied that my business was going great to all my friends, but I didn't even recover half my investment despite 1 year. Profit though is a far off thing. And whenever we get a rejection, or a friend of ours stop responding, or he hasn't received a check in many months, We deep down know the truth that the business is not going anywhere, but we are forced to apply law of attraction and be optimistic. Like uh, practicality is nowhere in the picture. So the entire industry works like that. So it's negativity outside, but complete positivity inside. Sounds very spiritual, no? See, you're not earning anything, you're losing your network, your time and energy is getting wasted, your downlines are getting drifted away, whereas your uplines are pressurizing you, your weekends and evenings are gone for a toss, yet you have to pose all happy and successful and rich. It's typically a cult mentality that you have to develop. So I hadn't earned a check in 5 months, and I expressed this to my upline that I want to move out. That's when the emotional tool comes in picture. So they ask you, like, what about the dreams that you listed? You think it was going to be easy? What about the downlines? They came in the business seeing you. So with all of these questions and these thoughts, you are meant to stay back, but there is a saturation point for everyone. The fourth part is the operational costs. See, it's not like you buy a land or you buy an MRF share and then you forget it for a few years and you eat the profits later. No, this is a direct sales business. Yes, what has been told to you is that there is no inventory rentals or employee salaries that you don't need to worry about, but there are running costs attached to it. Firstly, it's the hot signups, which I hated the most. Like my blood boils thinking of it even now. As soon as someone joins the business, within a week, they are asked to sign up two of their closest connections. The intention being, if that person earns a commission so quickly, so he or she will be tempted to stay back seeing the results, because ultimately numbers matter for everyone. Most of the people in this case, I mean the hot signups, okay, is either a blood relative or a childhood friend who can never say no to you. So in my case, it was my sister. So I had to borrow an additional amount to sign my sister up. So the other one was my childhood friend. Unfortunately, both of these people they didn't show interest in being an active part in the business. So they had to do was just buy the product, and I had to enjoy that commission. So again, the investments suggested from my uplines to them was 3.5 lakhs, but fortunately, it was again a 50 to 70,000 investment. So second part is Hangouts, the expensive Hangouts. So whenever we had to show this business presentation to a prospective sign up, we had to invite them to either a coffee day or a Starbucks, because it builds a reputation and a good rapport about you. Because these are the places that they're meant for business or elite discussions. Now I'm assuming that it happens over Zoom calls, but I'm not sure. See, whatever I'm telling you right now is back in 2016. Okay, so we had to line up almost at least 3 to 4 meetings over the weekend from our connections or the name list that I told you about, and then this entire meeting of 3 to 4 people from each person would take almost a day. And I'm sure you all know the prices in coffee day or Starbucks. So here, at least I would spend almost 1,000 rupees per day. So 4 Sundays, that would put together cost me around 4,000 rupees only for the coffee shops. And then the third part is the expensive lifestyle, the fake lifestyle that people are watching you. If you use a cracked screen, if you wear t-shirt and jeans, if you don't pose about your trips and conferences, no one will believe that you're making money. And if they don't get impressed about your lifestyle, they won't sign up. So this was what our uplines used to tell us. So we had to change our dressing style. We had to change the way we flaunt about things. So basically, you're not supposed to market the company, but you're supposed to market yourself, because the person always comes seeing you, not the company. So see, personally speaking, I would rather be hated for who I am, than to be loved for who I am not. So when your friends actually show off by telling that they purchased a new phone or a new laptop with the money made from business, I think now you know the reason. So despite all these things, one bothered me a lot. You're not supposed to reveal outside anywhere directly that you're a part of Qnet, because if they research online, they would only find negative news and they wouldn't sign up. Yes, there are people who have made a very good fortune through this business, but nowhere in LinkedIn or Facebook have they mentioned the word Qnet. I hated this hiding game, you know. See, you're all well suited, you have an iPhone, you have a thick wallet, but you cannot proudly tell what you do for a living. So, what is the whole point? Yeah, and then the fourth part of the operational cost is that we had to keep buying the repetitive products. So apart from the one-time investments like those watches or those ornaments or like the air purifier, which act as like your investment, there are other smaller products like the herbal tea and then stevia and then cosmetics. So basically anything to do with skin and healthcare. We had to buy these products on a regular basis. Because only if in case we get the idea of those products we can talk about them to our prospective signups, and we actually need to have an idea of the kind of industry that we're a part of. So but they actually cost a lot compared to the ones that are in the regular FMCG market. If in case I have to give you an example, the tea bags back then used to cost 1300 rupees per bag, but if in case you buy a Lipton tea bag right now, I think it would cost around 450 rupees maximum. So, and it's not just the case with the tea, be it any other beauty product or whatsoever. Roughly, the product would cost 2.5 to 3 times more than the ones that are in the FMCG market. And then the fifth and the most irritating part was the frequent workshops. So to keep ourselves charged and optimistic, a workshop used to be organized every Sunday. It used to be called as a system, the Sunday system. Here it begins with a dance where we forget ourselves and we go into the state of trance and all those. And then a person who is very successful in this business, he or she is invited to share the story, and then he goes on telling about the challenges, his struggles, and how he started, and then how he ended up being a very successful person right now. And then he basically motivates the entire gathering. And then the intention was that if you're with like-minded people, your belief system is stronger. So you had to be a member of one Sunday system, and then a monthly pass over there would cost around 2000 rupees back then. I don't know what the cost is right now. And after this, we used to have breakfast and head to the coffee shops. And apart from this, once in 2 to 3 months, there would be large gatherings where members from various teams across Bangalore or across city, they come for a 1 day long workshop. So there would be multiple business leaders who would give like 1 hour long lectures, sharing the same stories and journeys and motivating the crowd. So the only thing is that over there during regular Sunday meets, it used to be one business leader addressing a crowd of 50 to 60 people. But over here, it's around 4 to 5 people addressing 500 to 600. And these workshops, generally it used to be hosted in all these fancy resorts, and the passes for it would cost around 2000 to 3000 rupees. So technically, there are no weekends for you. And the point where they mention initially while showing the presentation that there are no running costs is completely false. So if in case I have to give the prices that I used to spend on a monthly basis, again I want to remind you that these prices were back in 2016. Okay, and they might have gone up right now. So summing up, the coffee shops only would cost me around 4000 rupees. The workshops on an average 2500. The repetitive products like the tea and other things would cost again another 2500. And the other like travel, to and fro travel, and there were some books or study materials and miscellaneous, I've just put around 1000 rupees. So in a month, on an average, I used to spend 10,000 rupees to keep the business running. For a person whose salary was 18,500 with deductions, imagine spending 10,000 only to keep the Qnet business running. I had to manage my personal expenses with just 8,500 rupees for the entire month. So, and yet pose a rich lifestyle. Fifth and the last part is Vikon. So this, my dear friends, is a pilgrimage for Qneters. It's like the Chardham Yatra for the Hindus. Vikon is where you meet the founders face to face. Your confidence and belief system will skyrocket. Your experience in multicultural diversity will be in real. The energy that you get here charges you for the rest of the year. Servant leadership is self-evident. So people who have made billions and millions will be serving you, they'll be giving you water, they'll be at your service. So these are all the things told by your uplines. So, and that is how it is portrayed, like an event that will completely change your life, it will completely change who you are. So it happens annually and is generally held in Malaysia. So this event is promoted months in advance, and it's almost mandatory that your team has to attend it. So in one way, I was happy that it was my first trip abroad. Now when your friends actually post that they had visited a global conference, this is the event that they actually talk about. So when we had been to Malaysia, it was around 30 of us. I was initially very excited. I thought I would experience the Malaysian culture, go to amazing destinations, but the case was entirely different. It used to start. It was like a 6-day workshop, which used to start at around 8 a.m. So we had to leave our rooms by almost 6 a.m. And then this thing would end at around 11 p.m. or 12 a.m. And by the time we had to go back, and by the time we went back to our rooms to sleep, it used to be around 2 a.m. So technically only 4 hours of sleep. And back then it was around 18,000 people that had attended this event. And if in case we don't go early, we couldn't get seats. So almost 3 days, I literally sat on the floor. Not just me, many people from our team, we sat on the floor. So here, the 18,000 people are basically the Qnetters who come from different countries, so all over the world. And the people who are in service, like the guards or the volunteers or the helpers, they are all the people who are the successful business leaders. So whereas the ones who come over there to give sessions and motivate you, or the ones who are known as V partners, they are like the board of directors of Qnet. So they constantly make you think of your dream, remind you of your struggles, like how your family went through all the challenges in order to raise you up. They make you cry and get all emotional. So the workshop is mostly to do with this. And then they constantly defend their genuinity. They invite celebrities to address the gathering, that if in case people like this can come and attend an event, so obviously they'll have a legal team, and if it was a scam company, they won't come. So these are the points of defense that they use. So when we had been to Qnet in 2016, it was Anil Kapoor and then Vivek Oberoi and a Tamil actor cum director called Samudrakani. So I completely dislike the event, honestly. So it's all full of fancy and glitz and glamour, but the entire event back then cost me 35,000 rupees, and then including the travel, food and accommodation, everything, it rounds to almost 90,000 and 1 lakh. How is this justified? So and one thing that disturbed me was, we were given a bag and a book. And when I started wearing that bag in Bangalore, I was asked by one of my upline to not wear it, because people will get to know that I'm from Qnet. Now, how is this 35,000 justified for an event where there are no proper seating arrangements, no food, or not even travel expenses are covered? And despite all the glitz and glamour, the return ratio for this event remains less than 5% every year.